everyone, and welcome back to Junkin' 101 with Cassie. Today I have a little bit of a different video for you. I have recently started doing junk journal digital kits, and I wanted to show you all one of them that I have made recently. This is called Paris Rose. All of my kits are 15-page kits. So in the junk journal kits you will receive 5 pages of ephemera and 10 background pages. So I just kind of want to flip through this real quick and then create a little small project with part of it with you guys. You can find the kit over on Etsy at Junkin' 101 with Cassie. I will list the link in the description below so you guys can find it easily. So anyway, let's get into this. So here is the ephemera pages. You have this nice silhouette of a lady, a couple of little circles, a rose, the arrow, there's a book plate here, there's 3 banners and 3 tabs. And obviously I've made these pretty large size, so if you want to, remember you can always shrink these down, but you cannot make them bigger. If you make them bigger, they will become pixelated or blurry. So you can always shrink down digitals, but you can't make them bigger. So here is page number 2. We have 3 different tags and a couple of little butterflies here. On page 3 of the ephemera, there's 2 different size envelopes. On page 4, there's a couple little roses in 3 different pockets. And then page 5 of the ephemera, you've got 3 little faux stamps here, a little writing spot, a pretty little thing that could be used as a book plate or something, and a couple other odds and ends that could be used. Now we're getting into the kit. So I have used my own coffee dyed papers that I made for some of the backgrounds here. So here you've got 3 corsets and just the word Paris up here. Nice writing page. This is a very light page. You've got a little bird cage and the butterfly and a doily. Down here there's some lace, and you've got this nice cluster here with some lace in behind and the roses. On this page I thought this would make a good center spread. It's made up to look like a faux postcard, and then it's just got the word Paris in there with some different things that you would see if you took a trip to Paris. I thought that was really cool. Here's another writing page that I did. I just took some old torn images that looked like old paper and put it on here. There's a little Eiffel Tower down here and the word Paris, and then there's some like rough grungy looking lines on the papers so that you could write. Here's another page that I've created writing spots on the page itself. Nice little cluster down here with the doilies and the roses again. Here's another very pretty page with a rather large Eiffel Tower and a button that matches the same color inside the roses here that I've used throughout the page. This rose at the top is centered so that half of it's on this side and half of it's on this side when you fold the page in half. Here's just a nice plain background that you could put pockets on, or you could even put some gesso over this to dull it out a little bit more and then use it as a writing page. This is a collage page that would be a rather nice page to use as the covers of the signatures or as a middle spread if you wanted to. And then there's a couple of writing pages with my hand-dyed coffee pages in the background, and then it's just got some lines across it for writing. Here's a second one. And then this is a bonus freebie page. I have this posted in the Facebook group JJ with Joy, and Anyway, this is posted in there, but also if you go to my Etsy and you purchase it, it will be included in the Ephemera zip file as a freebie for you all. And it's just got a couple different elements from the kit itself. So that is what the Paris Rose kit is. Now I have taken and I have shrunk down a couple of the ephemera pages because last night on Facebook in Timeless Paper Treasures, which is a group by a lady named Teresa, or a lot of people call her T. She has a lady that does lives for her on Tuesday nights, and her name is Penny Matthews Reed. And she shared with us a template for a mini file folder, which there's templates all over the place for the mini file folders. But this happens to be the one from Penny. And she showed us a cute little project to do with these. So I just wanted to make one for my Paris journal that I'm going to make using this kit. And I wanted some of the elements to use on here to decorate, but I wanted them smaller. So I put them at a 4x7 and put 2 on a page so that I have those that will nicely fit on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a piece of paper from the kit that I would like to cover this with. So I think, let's see here. I think I want to use this to cover it with, and I think I want to use this to cover these little things. Okay, so you're going to need 2 of these tag-shaped things, and you'll see why here in just a second. So mine measure about 4 1/4 by about 1. It's in between 1 1/4 and 1 1/2. And these are going to get glued on the back, and they're going to bend over the front here, and they're going to act as a closure. So I have one that I made last night that looks like this. So as you can see, I should have put these on before I put my paper on the outside, but I forgot to. So this one will be good to just glue down in a book. But anyway, they're going to wrap around the front like so and create a little closure here. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out where about I want these. I think I want it about like that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to bend it over and then push it down, and then I'm just going to leave it there and glue it. Hopefully the glue cooperates with us here. Oops, and I moved it, which is okay because this is the first one. We don't want the second one to move. Okay. So just glue that down real good, and I'm just using art glitter glue because it's what I had right here. So now this one, I'm going to try and eyeball it to be about the same distance. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you want it close. Okay, so I'm going to put it right there. Fold this over. Okay, stick some glue on here. Hopefully I'm staying in frame for y'all. Okay, so that part is done. So now what I want to do, I should have covered those with paper first, but that's okay. Now what I want to do is I want to open this up and then use my paper, and you know, part of this is going to end up being upside down the way I do this. So how you could fix that, and her head's going to get cut off. Okay, I'm changing my mind on the piece of paper I want to use because that one I don't think is going to look right. So let me get this one. Possibly this one. So you just got to play with it and see what's going to fit where you want it and that. So she's still going to be a little bit big, but I can bring it down and cut the bottom of her off. So I'm going to mark this on how wide I need it. So I'm just going to line it up side to side, and I'm going to take my pencil and mark it right here, and then I'm going to take my paper trimmer and just cut that. That way we have a nice straight line to work with. Okay, so we've got that, and I'm now just going to put glue all over this. Okay, and I'm going to place her where I know her head isn't going to get cut off. So that looks good. I'm gonna just use my bone folder to spread some of that glue out while it's still wet. Then I'm going to cut this part off, and then we're going to cut the top off as well. Okay, so now we have something that looks like that. And that's going to be our back. We will come back and ink around it when we get everything covered. So now I want to cover the front of it, and I wonder if there's enough of this to cover the front. And there is, and it's already at the width that we need. That chandelier is a little big, but I'm not going to worry about it. By the time we decorate it and stuff, it'll get pushed to the background anyway, so it'll be all right. Okay. Line that up with the edges and the top. Again, take your bone folder and just give it a good press. Flip it over. Trim the bottom. And then we're going to open it up and trim the top. Okay, get our little scraps out of the way. I see I missed just a little bit right here. Okay, so there's our front so far. Now what I want to do is I want to cover the inside. And to cover the inside, I'm going to use this. And yes, part of it's going to be upside down, but I don't mind. So I'm just going to take it again, measure it to the width of my folder. I'm going to mark it and then trim it down with our paper trimmer. Make sure it's in there nice and straight. Okay, now I'm going to put glue all over this. With the art glitter glue, it dries pretty quickly, so this part you gotta do a little bit quicker if you're using the art glitter glue. If you're using the Barely Art glue, I've noticed with it, it doesn't dry quite as fast as the art glitter glue. So you have a little bit more wiggle room with the Barely Art glue. This ain't wanting to come out. Okay, so now I'm just going to place this on here, lining it up edge to edge. Again, if I can find it, using the bone folder to just kind of burnish it down a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to cut the extra off of the top and the bottom. Come in here with my fussy cutting scissors to get the smaller areas. Now when you get this covered with the paper, you can sew around it if you want to. I'm not going to sew on this particular one. You could hand stitch around it if you don't have a sewing machine, but yet you wanted that stitching look. You could go around it with some sort of pin, like the Faber-Castell Artist Pit Pins, or even a ultra fine Sharpie. You could go around it and make little dash lines to do faux stitching if you wanted that look. You could also decoupage on these if you wanted to. I think that would be cute. Okay, get around this corner. Okay. Alright, so that's the outside. And this is the inside, so now I'm just going to fold this up and give it the crease in the middle there. Gonna make sure that that's all down nice and good. Okay, so now we have to cover these bits. And I'm just going to take this leftover paper and cut a strip. And then put some glue on the flap. And then I'm going to butt this paper up against that paper. I'm going to push this way because I want the extra glue to go to this end to hold that end down, because that end's going to be folding, so it could come up some. And then we'll just trim around it. And we're going to do this same process for the other side of it and the other flap. So, going this direction, you're going to want to make sure your word is the right side up. Unless you're using a non-directional piece of paper, then it doesn't matter. But if you are using paper that has a top and a bottom, you're going to want to make sure that you have your paper going the right way. Okay, let's trim that out. Okay, so there's that side. Now we do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to cut another strip. Put my glue on. And then butting that all the way up against the paper. Oops. Don't bend it. You don't want to bend it. Okay. Trim it out. And then do the back side. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure I have my paper going the correct direction. Get it nice and straight up against that other piece of paper, and burnish it down real nice, and then trim it out. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of this stuff. I'm going to close my glue up for a moment. And now we're going to go in and ink all of our edges. So I'm using Distress Oxide in the color Vintage Photo. You could do this in whatever color you want. I have a little extra here that I'm just going to trim off real quick. I think the color Worn Lipstick would go really nice with this kit. Gonna tuck that in so that we can get right there. So you just want to do all the edges. If you don't want to ink, you can skip this part. If you notice any of your pieces that aren't glued down all the way, you can go back and make sure they're all glued down at this point. I have a couple areas where I need to go back. You can see my paper wrinkled a little bit right there. You'll have that sometimes. But that's going to be on the inside, so it's not a big issue. To avoid your paper wrinkling, you could cover the top by itself and the bottom by itself, but then you'll have that seam in the middle. Okay, just about done with the inking. Okay. So the next part that I'm going to do is make sure that this is all glued down. This is wanting to come up here. So I'm just going to run some glue along there and then bend it over so that that's not popping out. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay. Take your bone folder and kind of smoosh it up against that. That'll help it lay a little bit nicer. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Crop-A-Dile and I'm going to use the what side is this? I think it's 5/8, the larger side. I'm going to use it, and I'm just gonna eyeball this in the middle and punch a hole. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and then I'm gonna choose a color of eyelet. I'm going to use this old gold color. You don't have to put these in if you don't want to. I just like the look that it gives it, and I think it strengthens it a little bit. So now we can put this away because we're done with it. Okay, and now we decorate. So I'm going to pull this in. And right there it says Paris up there. If that Paris wasn't right there, I would find some stamps or something and do like a number stamp or something up there. So for example, I have this set of Tim Holtz stamps. It says corresponding order, that fits up there nicely. Or this number one could go up there, or that one. Name of remitter could go up there. So, you know, you could stamp right there, but I'm not going to because that says Paris right there, and I kind of like that. Those aren't entirely even, but that's okay. So, I'm thinking how we could decorate this. And it doesn't need a whole lot of decoration because, you know, it says Paris here and there and there, and it's got that, a little bit of doily there. But I do want to do something to it. So, let's see here. I really like this Paris label, or book plate. I think this is one of my favorite pieces of ephemera in the kit, is this little book plate here. So I'm just going to go and cut this out. I didn't do too good of a job around that circle, but that's all right. All right, we're on the home stretch. Okay, so I kind of want this inside here. I'm going to ink around it just so that the white core of the paper doesn't show anywhere. So I kind of like that there. What else could we do? I've got, oops. I've got this little drawer that I keep on my desk that has labels and stuff in it and numbers. So we could use a label. So kind of have that there. And then maybe that there. And on the one page, we've got the page with the tags is what I'm looking for. Right here. We've got a butterfly. And I think I'm just gonna fussy cut this out. I'm not gonna do it perfectly. I'm just gonna kind of kiss cut it. And if you don't know what kiss cut means, it means to cut around it, leaving just a little bit of an edge. That way you don't have to perfectly get up next to it. And I will be inking the edge of it so that it's not as noticeable. Hopefully I'm staying in frame for you guys. I haven't done a YouTube video in quite a while. I just got so discouraged, you know, because I was trying to do a series and I ended up getting sick and wasn't able to finish the series. So what I plan on doing, it was an October daily. What I plan on doing is this coming October, I want to revisit that and finish it. So I was able to get days 1 through 15 done. So, or was it like 1 through 14 or something like that? But anyway, I plan on revisiting that this October and doing the second half of the month. So, that kind of covers that up. Maybe we need a longer or maybe we don't need a label. Maybe we just need the Paris and the butterfly. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do the Paris and the butterfly. Put that guy back so he doesn't get lost. So, I hope everyone is well and happy. I hope everyone's getting some sort of crafting done. I know everyone is getting back out into their yards and stuff. It's that time of year. I feel that this just needs a little bit of lace under the butterfly. I don't want it perfectly square, so let's kind of cut a rough circle. Some jaggedy edges maybe. Stick our butterfly down on top of that. Oh yeah, that's nice. So I'll use my Fabrifix for this, or Fabri-Tac. Either one will do. Just kind of stick that down without covering the Paris too much. Use the same glue on the back of my butterfly. Okay. All right. So I'm just about finished. I want to add a number over here. So I'm digging in my little labels again. And the way I want this one to be positioned is I kind of want it peeking out a little bit. So I'm going to ink around this. Put some glue on it. Trying to keep my mess out of the picture. And then I'm going to line it up kind of where I want it and set it down. Oh, that needs a little bit of glue there. Okay. So there's that. Now, I didn't come completely prepared, so I have to go grab a string. Okay. So I ordered this off of Amazon. It's premium ribbon, and you get 24 rolls, and as you can see, it's like the baker's twine. sorry for the noise. I want this darker pink. You get 2 of each color in this pack, and it was pretty inexpensive. Again, sorry for all the noise. So I'm just going to take an amount of string. I'm going to put it through here. And then I'm going to come up through the bottom on this one. Push that down. Pull it. You could do this with jute. You could do it with Aunt Lydia's thread. Any kind of string or thread that you have that you think would look good. I was just kind of evening my ends up there. And then I'm just going to tie it in a little bow. I could have cut my string a little bit longer, but that's okay. So then you have this. And you could put something on here if you wanted to. I think I'm going to leave mine because it's got the words there. And then you can take like a small index card or something like that and put it inside here. On the first one that I did, where did I put it? Here it is. On this one that I did, I had printed some of these out smaller. Like I said, this was a freebie from Penny Matthews Read and Timeless Paper Treasures on Facebook. But I had printed them out the regular size, and then I had shrunk them down just a little bit and printed them a tad smaller. And I took one and I cut it in half. So it's just the one part of the file folder. And I came up with this. And so I just figured, oh, well, that would be a cute little writing card to stick in there. So that's what I have there. And you could do the same thing with this. You could use an index card in here and then use one of these tabs that I have created in my Paris Rose kit to put on top of it, or a whale tail, or however you want to decorate that. So anyway, that is all for this video. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I hope you like my kit. I'm super happy with this kit. I love it. I think it's kit number 4 for me, or maybe, no, I think it was number 3. I've released 5 kits. So I have a Country Lane, Sweet Country Lane, and my first one, okay, so kit number 1 was called A Good Day for a Ride. Kit number 2 was called Sweet Country Lane. Kit number 3 was Paris Rose. Number 4 was Christmas Memories, and I created that for a Christmas in July event that's going to be coming up that I will talk more about in upcoming videos. And then I have just coffee dyed background pages, and I'm also going to be coming out with an eco dyed background page kit. So anyway, if you want to check any of those out, they're over in my Etsy store, Junkin 101 with Cassie. And like I said, it'll be in the description down below, and you guys can get those there. And if you have any other questions or stuff, just feel free to give them to me. You can find me over at JJ with Joy on Facebook, and you can also find handmade items by me on Facebook in Cassie's Boutique, or you can also search that one up by Junkin 101 with Cassie as well. Again, I will list all the links in the description down below for you guys. And again, I appreciate you sticking around and watching this video for me. If you liked what you've seen, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, guys, keep it crafty, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.